I come home to find rubble where my grandfather's memorial cabin once stood. Demolished by HOA for unpaid fees. Contact Scarlett Torres. What the hell? I never got any notices. I never missed any payments. This crazy woman thinks I'm some pushover who will just take it? She just made the biggest mistake of her life. She has no idea what my family does for work. Standing in what used to be my sanctuary, all I can hear is weird ringing in my ears. Debris crunches under my feet like broken bones. Pieces of my childhood scattered everywhere. The doorknob from Grandpa's workshop, the torn American flag he flew every day. And there, glinting in the rubble, my grandfather's Purple Heart medal in a crushed wooden box. The flashback hits like a freight train. I'm 8 years old, sitting on Grandpa's lap while he shows me this exact medal. Son, I earned this carrying wounded soldiers off Heartbreak Ridge. 23 boys I carried to safety. This cabin was built with every dollar of pension money from that battlefield. Some HOA bitch just threw his sacrifice in the trash. The workshop where Grandpa taught me everything about being a man is now just broken lumber and scattered tools. My neighbor Bill Patterson runs over, out of breath and guilty as hell. Adrian, I tried to stop them. Scarlett had official documents saying you abandoned the property. Bill explains the timeline. 10 months ago when Grandpa died, I inherited this place, but spent most time in Washington handling corruption cases. 6 months ago, Scarlett started sending violation notices I never received due to mail forwarding issues. 3 weeks ago, while I was prosecuting white-collar scumbags, she demolished my family's legacy like it was abandoned trash. She's been targeting people like you for 2 years, Bill continues. Military families, elderly folks, absentee owners. Your grandfather's memorial plaque, she called it outdated military symbolism and removed it first day. I call my insurance company expecting financial recourse. The agent gets nervous quickly. Mr. Barnes, our records show cancellation request submitted 4 weeks ago, signed by Adrian Barnes, authorized by property manager Scarlett Torres. Insurance fraud on top of everything else. Bill shows me a photo that makes my blood run cold, Grandpa's memorial plaque thrown away like garbage. Simple brass reading Korean War veteran 1952 to 1953. Purple Heart recipient. This isn't about money or property values. This is about someone so calculating they destroy a war hero's memorial without hesitation. My phone rings. Unknown number, distorted voice. Stop digging into Scarlett Torres, or your family will regret it. Someone who knows where your mother works, where your sister lives. Drop this, federal boy. The line goes dead. Driving home, I notice my mailbox destroyed with a sledgehammer. Note attached. This is what happens to people who don't mind their own business. Someone was watching me, knew exactly where I was, used that time to send a clear message. Scarlett Torres lives in the biggest house in Pine Lake community, which should have been my first red flag. Mercedes in the driveway, house like a real estate magazine. She answers before I knock, expecting me. Mr. Barnes, I researched your background. Department of Justice Criminal Division. Impressive. She slides a business card. Judge Martin Crawford, the corrupt state judge I've been investigating for years. Judge Crawford handles all our legal matters. 20-year appointee. Her phone rings. Mom. Yes, I have money for Thursday's treatment. Insurance rejection doesn't matter. She hangs up, vulnerability flickering. My mother, stage 4 pancreatic cancer. $32,000 monthly for experimental treatment. Real pain in her voice. Almost feel sorry for her. Almost. Then I remember Grandpa's Purple Heart in muddy rubble. Memorial? It was deteriorating cabin with housing violations. She slides inspection reports, but photos show my cabin from 2 years ago. Different roof, missing porch rail I added last summer. Her left eye twitches when I point this out. Judge Crawford personally reviewed emergency demolition order. Federal employees shouldn't interfere with local governance. Creates uncomfortable appearances. Pure threat wrapped in silk. She makes a mistake revealing too much research. Your sister Emma's IRS ceremony. Small federal community. Everyone knows everyone. Too specific for casual research. She's been studying my family like marks in elaborate con game. I'm prepared to offer compensation. Fair market value plus inconvenience fees. $150,000 cash, no questions asked. The number's too ready, too precise. She's calculated exactly what my grandfather's memorial was worth to her schemes. As I leave, She makes final comment confirming suspicions. Your mother, Deputy Attorney General Catherine Barnes? Sister Emma specializes in financial crime investigation. Quite the law enforcement dynasty. She's telling me she knows exactly who I am and what my family's capable of. Walking to my car, I notice Scarlett at her window, phone pressed to ear, gesturing frantically. Confident facade gone, talking fast, pacing. Whatever conversation she's having isn't going well. Text from unknown number. We know you visited Scarlett Torres today. Big mistake. Check your mailbox when you get home. This happened while I was inside Scarlett's house. Organized network with surveillance capabilities. Family dinner feels like work council. Mother Catherine pacing like caged tiger. Father James turning dangerous purple. Sister Emma crying over photos of Grandpa's destroyed cabin. I'm holding his Purple Heart, explaining how HOA Karen committed multiple federal crimes. She demolished Papa's cabin where your father proposed, where you kids learned integrity and service, Catherine roars. James adds deadly calm tone. Son, that workshop was where 3 generations learned craftsmanship. She threw grandfather's sacrifice away like garbage. Emma's not just crying. She's working, pulling financial records. Scarlett reported $47,000 annual income, but HOA presidents are unpaid volunteers. She owns 3 LLCs receiving HOA payments. Catherine stops pacing. Using DOJ resources for family business. Ethics violation waiting to happen. Could lose position, security clearance, 30 years of work. This isn't revenge. She's targeting military families, vulnerable homeowners. If federal employees won't stop systematic fraud, who will? Emma pulls up more data. 8 families forced to sell after excessive fees and fake violations. All military, elderly, or absentee owners. Average loss $85,000 in home equity. James studies evidence. If she's working with Crawford for fast-track foreclosures, we're looking at conspiracy under color of law, federal civil rights violations. Catherine makes decision changing everything. Your grandfather earned Purple Heart carrying 23 soldiers off Heartbreak Ridge. He didn't save those boys, so HOA Karen could demolish their memorial for cancer money. We're bringing justice, but doing this right. Legal, professional, by the book. Strategic planning follows like military operation. Catherine requests independent prosecutor. Emma begins legitimate IRS investigation. James provides private consultation. I build criminal case using prosecutorial experience, not family connections. Catherine's secure DOJ phone buzzes with emergency alert. Her face goes white. Federal agents just raided Judge Crawford's chambers tonight without our involvement. Without coordination through my office. That's impossible. Federal raids require weeks of preparation, multiple agency coordination. Unless someone else has been investigating Crawford for months, someone with higher authority than us. Emma types furiously. I can't find any record of authorized operations against Crawford. No federal warrants. No task force assignments. James connects terrifying dots. What if someone's using Crawford to get to us? Adrian confronts Scarlett. Surveillance follows. Federal agents raid Crawford same night. We're planning response. Pine Lake Community Center emergency meeting. 48 households crammed into space for 30 people. Scarlett Torres enters wearing funeral black, with Judge Crawford carrying legal briefcase. Friends, I have devastating news. Federal investigators are targeting our community for tax fraud. Anyone cooperating with these investigators may be considered co-conspirators. Panic spreads through room. People whispering frantically, mothers clutching husbands, elderly residents terrified of losing everything. Good evening, neighbors. I'm Adrian Barnes. Some knew my grandfather, who built the memorial cabin demolished 3 weeks ago. Room goes dead quiet. I hold up Purple Heart medal. This is my grandfather's Purple Heart, earned carrying wounded soldiers off. Heartbreak Ridge. I found it in rubble where his memorial stood. Gasps from crowd. Mrs. Patterson covers mouth in horror. Emma enters with federal accountant, carrying evidence boxes. Analysis of HOA finances reveals systematic theft totaling $340,000 over 18 months. Every family has been overcharged, excess money funneled through fake companies owned by your HOA president. Crowd reaction explosive. $340,000. We've been struggling to pay assessments while she lives like royalty. Scarlett fights back. My mother is dying of cancer. I was saving her life. You don't understand watching someone slip away because you can't afford treatment. Elderly Mr. Davis stands, voice shaking with rage. Ma'am, my wife died of cancer 2 years ago. I sold father's watch, military medals, everything valuable for her treatment. What I didn't do was steal from neighbors. Mrs. Carter stands next. My husband passed from cancer last year. I organized fundraisers, applied for assistance, asked family for help. I didn't demolish war memorials and steal from military families. Crawford tries regaining control. This is legal HOA business conducted through proper channels. But when he presents paperwork, forensic accountant intervenes. Judge Crawford, these demolition orders are based on fraudulent inspection reports using 2-year-old photographs and forged assessments. Every signature enabled federal crimes. Crawford's face goes white, hands shaking, backing toward exit. Federal agents positioned outside since we started. Lead agent enters as Crawford reaches door. Judge Martin Crawford, you're under arrest for honest services fraud, conspiracy, violation of civil rights under color of law. Scarlett's public meltdown spectacular. You're destroying dying woman's last chance at life. My mother will die because of your federal prosecutor vendetta. Her desperation reveals offshore accounts, Swiss medical foundations, escape plans confirming everything we suspected about criminal organization. Ma'am, you demolished Medal of Honor recipients' memorial to fund personal real estate investments. Your mother's legitimate medical expenses account for less than 30% of stolen money. Agent responds calmly. Handcuffs go on while 48 neighbors watch. Applause follows, spontaneous and sustained. These people lived in fear of arbitrary rules, excessive fees, constant threats for 2 years. Watching her led away in federal custody feels like community liberation. As Crawford's led away, phone falls from jacket, cracked screen displaying text. Plan failed. Activated insurance policy. Barnes' family will regret this by morning. Catherine approaches, sees phone screen, face goes white. Son, what's insurance policy in criminal context? Emma checks her phone with expression signaling new problems. Someone filed federal ethics complaints against our entire family. Abuse of power, conspiracy, using federal resources for personal vendetta. Filed 10 minutes ago while we watched arrests. 6 months later, I'm standing in federal courthouse watching Scarlett Torres receive sentencing. 8 years federal prison, $340,000 restitution, 5 years supervised release. Real satisfaction isn't prison time. It's watching her realize every manipulation, every lie, every attempt using mother's cancer as emotional armor has been completely exposed. Crawford got 12 years, lost judicial pension permanently. Cosmic justice for man who sold his oath for gambling money. Community restoration incredible to watch. Pine Lake dissolved HOA by unanimous vote. Established volunteer neighborhood council. Every overcharged family received full restitution plus damages from federal asset forfeiture program. Scarlett's seized mansion converted into Veterans Assistance Center, providing housing and support for military families facing financial hardship. Rebuilding Grandpa's memorial cabin became community project bringing everyone together. Bill Patterson organized weekend work crews for 3 months, neighbors donating materials, time, skills to reconstruct cabin exactly as Grandpa built it 70 years ago. Memorial plaque now includes not just Grandpa's Korean War service, but recognition of all community members who served their country. Annual Memorial Day ceremony draws visitors from across region. Over 200 people gathered this year honoring not just Grandpa's service, but all families who fought preserving his legacy against organized crime. Sitting in rebuilt cabin today, 2 years after demolition, I remember Grandpa's workshop wisdom. Son, legacy isn't what you build with your hands. It's what people build after you're gone. Memorial Cabin receives 50 weekly visitors from veterans' families nationwide, making it living testament to service and sacrifice rather than just family memorial. Community that rallied to rebuild has become stronger, more connected, more vigilant against corruption than ever before. Young neighbor girl visits every weekend, always asking, Mr. Adrian, what does Purple Heart mean? Same answer every time. It means someone brave loved their family and community so much they risked everything to protect them. She points to memorial plaque listing neighbors who helped rebuild. Like everyone did for your grandpa's cabin? Yeah, kiddo. Exactly like that. Communities protecting communities. Love rebuilding what hate destroyed. Looking at memorial plaque, including community service recognition alongside Grandpa's military honors, I realize this story isn't about defeating Scarlett Torres or exposing Crawford's corruption. It's about what happens when ordinary people decide some things are worth fighting for, even when odds seem impossible. Grandpa earned Purple Heart protecting soldiers he'd never met. We earned community's respect protecting memorial built with love. Same mission, different battlefield. Victory tastes exactly like justice should, sweet, hard-earned, shared with people understanding some legacies are worth preserving no matter the cost. As sun sets over Pine Lake, casting golden light through cabin windows where 3 generations learned about integrity, I hear Grandpa's voice in evening breeze. Well done, son. Well done. Memorial stands. Community endures. Justice prevailed. Somewhere in federal prison, Scarlett Torres has 8 years thinking about difference between desperate choices and criminal ones. That's not revenge, that's consequences.